And with this episode of Fairy Tail, we enter an arc that could be kind of compared to the Tower of Heaven arc when it comes to Fairy Tail. And this is good, because this arc is personally one of my favorites, and with this first episode, or the prologue as this episode title was, I'm already liking the start. I'm liking the way the music is being used, I'm liking the tone, I'm liking the animation. You could definitely tell that the budget has been saved for this upcoming arc, because this is a very hyped up arc. Like, all readers of the manga Fairy Tail know that this arc is one of the best arcs of Fairy Tail. It is one of the best. And to see now this is getting animated finally, I'm actually quite hyped right now. I mean, Fairy Tail has its issues from time to time, but I do have to admit, I loved this arc when I was reading, especially towards the ending conclusion, which I don't worry, I'm not going to spoil. But the thing is, okay, we are getting into the arc, and with this episode, we're introduced to the villains of the arc, Tartarus. And majority of anime onlys have probably heard this name uttered before, besides from the anime. They probably heard rumors and stuff like that. And we're finally getting into that arc. But what we can see is that this entire guild, this dark guild, is formed from demons, from the Book of Zera, from what we can see. And they're like the 9 demon gates, as we can see. Like, one was called Jackal, one was called Tempest. And you gotta love the introduction of these characters. It's just really cool, especially with how this arc starts off. Like, what Fairy Tail arc starts off with death like that? Like, really, take a moment to really factor that in. What Fairy Tail arc has death like that, besides, like, the Tower of Heaven? You get my point. And so, you see the entire council, the Magic Council, they're just getting, they're fucked. They died. Like, 119 people died. They got obliterated by one dude from Tartarus. One dude, Jackal, kicked their ass. Just like, done. They're fucking done. So, just goes to show you the strength of Tartarus. Just one dude came in there and wrecked all those people by himself. And then you have it at the end where this other dude from Tartarus is now attacking Yajima, and Laxus has arrived at the battlefield. So this is a good way to demonstrate how strong Tartarus is as a guild, because let's think about this. Laxus is arguably one of the strongest Fairy Tail members in the series, besides, you know, certain other selective members. And so we're going to probably be able to gauge the level of Tartarus with this upcoming fight with Laxus and whoever this is that he is about to fight at the end of this episode. So, I know anime-only fans right now are probably just jumping for joy. They're probably fucking happy right now. And, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing how this arc is going to be animated, because there's so many different things I want to see. And I just really hope they use some very beautiful music, especially some music that was used in the Tower of Heaven arc. Like, I want to hear some old classical Fairy Tail songs used in this arc, like the sad emotional songs. If you know what songs I'm talking about the one where you saw the, in Tower of the Heaven, like, the sad emotional music when people are dying and stuff. That right there, I want that music to be put into this arc. I really want to see that, because just when it came to some music in Fairy Tail, especially with the, you know, part 1 of Fairy Tail before we got this, you know, Fairy Tail 2014, it had some really good music. And personally to me, when it came to Fairy Tail 2014, it does have a good soundtrack, but it doesn't have as good of a soundtrack as it did in the past. And so I hope with this upcoming arc especially, we get some new soundtracks, some new OST that really crank up the vibes and feels of this upcoming arc. So that's my thoughts right there. Besides that, putting that to the side of this episode, mainly this episode is, like it was titled, a prologue, a setup, just preparing everything for this arc. Introducing the villains, introducing what, so far, what we can see, the villains are hunting down the old and new council members, and Cobra is probably getting some form of action in this arc, too. You see Cobra, he's like, you know, free me and free my fellow guild members, and yeah, you know, that's the negotiation, I'll give you information. So, yeah, Doron Bolt, he's kind of pissed off. Like, he's really pissed off, because his friend died, the entire council died. He's kind of at, you know, wit's end. So, yeah, overall, this episode was a very dark turn for Fairy Tail, because majority of watchers probably did not expect a turn like that, especially when it came to a series like this, and it's a great way to start off an arc. Just hopefully, the quality of the animation arc continues like it was, like with this episode. We get some really good soundtracks, and yeah, there's not much more to really ask for. So tell me your thoughts. I mean, how do you feel about this first episode of the Tartarus arc? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Is your expectations high? Is your expectations low? Let me know your honest thoughts. How do you feel about this new villain, or these new villains introduced? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.